going to be talking for about 15 minutes, one time, okay, just to this is basically the ceremony for robe offering. Lay people offer robes to the monks. In the early days, during the Buddha's day, by the way, this year is special in the sense that the Buddha's enlightenment is 2,600 years. Exactly 2,600 years since the Buddha became enlightened and started teaching. 2,600 years. We complete 26 centuries and starting the 27th century. During the Buddha's time, it wasn't like this. You didn't have many roads. But today, see, we have only 7 months and more than 80 pieces of roads. So we are spoiled. We are spoiled. Just like you go to Lebanon, you go to Topshop and Marks and Spencer and all those, okay, you get spoiled because there's so many choices. Just like the monks today, you can say we are spoiled. And it's very easy for us to lose sight of what this practice is meant to be. Robe offering is what we do today, and it's called in Pali, as you can see, Kathina, Kathina. In Sinhalese, we call it Kathina Pinkama. In Burmese, we call this Kathay, Kathay Dengan. In Thai, we call Pakati, Pakati. All come from the word Kathina. But during the Buddha's time, it didn't mean robe offering. It meant robe making robes, because the monks didn't have robes. And the Buddha gave them 1 month to devote their time to make robes. To gather materials, and you couldn't buy ready-made clothes and dye those days. Instead, you had to collect threads and then make. You had to weave, you had to dye to get the right color. Everything has to be done in 24 hours. Within 24 hours. The process of robe making is allowed only for 24 hours. Otherwise, the validity will not be there. It won't be a valid Kathina. What does it mean? This is to devote some time for the welfare of the monks who didn't have robes those days. I remember when I was a young student, young monks. During the Kathina like this, because in the famous teaching monasteries where you have 400, 500, 600 monks like that, it's not possible for 1 month to get 1 set of robes. It's not possible. Okay. Until I was 20, 20 meaning being enrolled for 8 years, I didn't have a piece of rope on this kind of occasion, just 1 piece. I didn't have 1 set, 1 whole set, just 1 piece. Because we all have to share. So, lack of something, lack of material, lack of rope was the reason that we had this one. Strengthening this tradition. Imagine in some of the border areas, people in Hong Kong, they inform me that in the refugees camp, there are schools and kids, they didn't have enough clothes. None of you has ever gone through this and you wouldn't understand the pain of not having enough clothes, especially during the winter. One of the teachers emailed me to say that she collected all the clothes, okay, from Bangkok, from Chiang Mai, and distributed to the kids. The kids didn't have a choice. She said one time when she was distributing the clothes, she broke down because she was so upset to see that the boy, okay, was so happy when she got a piece of cloth, and that piece of cloth happened to be, you know what, a skirt. A boy, okay, very happy to wear a skirt because he just didn't have anything to wear. So the monks didn't have enough robes. That is why the Buddha allowed the monks to do this, to organize this kind of ceremony. But today, since we have so many sets of robes, you sort of lost the message. The message I'm going to say today is a very important part of the practice. We call this, the MC also mentioned the word Anumodhana. That's in Thai pronunciation, Anumodhana. In Sinhalese, in Indian pronunciation, Anumodhana. In Burmese, also Anumodhana. What does it mean? To be joyous, to be happy. To be joyous when you have something. When you have a degree, to be joyous. Okay. When you have enough clothes to wear, to feel happy, to be joyous. Okay. When you have a car to drive, you have a house to live in, to feel joyous. That's Anumodhana. Anumodhana for yourself. But we have taken everything for granted, and we forget to be happy. Why? From Buddhist psychology, I would like to say this from metta meditation point of view. We have just had the teaching of metta meditation at the Vihara early this month. What does it mean? Unless, okay, you can relate to the pain, your pain of not having clothes, not having a place to live, not having a car to drive, not having something to eat, unless you can relate to that pain, you will not be able to relate to the opportunity of being joyous of having something. Because you have never gone without. Okay? So when you have something, it doesn't usually bring joy. It doesn't. So in metta meditation, we say we have to practice karuna first, and then mudita. Today we chant Iti Piso Bhagavan Metta Parami Sampanno Metta Upaparami Sampanno Metta Paramata Parami Sampanno Buddho Metta Maitri Karuna Mudita Ubeka Parami Sampanno. It says Karuna Mudita Ubeka Metta Karuna Mudita Ubeka. Four. A package of four qualities. The four qualities that come in a package. That come in a package. In practice, we got to focus on two. One is karuna, one is mudita. In English, compassion and joy. Unless you are able to relate to, unless you can develop compassion, the joy that you have, that you develop, is not going to last. In other words, to feel compassionate for yourself and for someone, you need to be able to relate to the pain, your own pain. If you use a lot of computer and you feel a lot of tension, because your mind is somewhere else, your mind isn't concentrated enough, and you cannot relate to the tension, the pain, the physical pain that you have. As a result, you can't feel compassion for yourself. You can't feel that. So it's very important to be able to relate to your own pain, for you to feel compassionate for yourself. In the same way, to feel the pain of others, to feel compassion for others, you need to feel their pain. Today, in Thailand, we have a severe flooding situation, not just in Thailand, in Cambodia. Also, more than 20, I think 23 provinces, more than 10 provinces are flooded. And in Burma, just in one town, more than 200 people died because of flood. And now it's getting closer. Yesterday, 2 British tourists died in Spain because of the flood. Elderly tourists. Unless we have gone through this kind of program, this kind of flooding, we wouldn't know what is meant. One devotee just emailed me from Thailand that she had to move out of her house at 3 o'clock in the morning from Ven.Dr. 3 o'clock. And her mom is 84 years old. 84 years old. And her nanny, usually in Thailand, the nanny stays with the family for long time. The nanny is 78 years old. This is just one family. So if we can't relate to their pain, what happens is that we cannot feel compassion. If we cannot feel compassion, when they have joy, when they feel joyous, when they are happy, we cannot relate to their happiness either. If we cannot relate to them, you will say, so what? So what? You will ask. That also means you will not be able to relate to your own pain and your own absence of pain. When you have pain, instead of becoming angry, you should have compassion for yourself. In Rangsit, in near Mahachula, in Bangkok, I go to Mahachula very often. In Rangsit, people put a lot of sandbags, to protect certain areas. But then, certain areas are more important than the others. So, when other people's areas are protected, and the other people, they feel grief. So they went and took away some of the sandbags so that would also, the water would also flood the neighbors because they have been flooded. So much pain is going on. Instead of feeling compassionate, what happens is that people feel angry. People feel angry. And this could happen anywhere. That is why the Buddha said, monks, all the monks, You may have 100 monks, 200 monks, 300 monks. You may have just one piece of ropes. But all of you will have to join in to make this rope happen. Once it's done, you have to declare, verbally, that you rejoice in one of you receiving this robe. This psychology is very important. Otherwise, we suffer from jealousy. We suffer from jealousy. Even if you have, you have a lot of dogs and you have enough to eat, you can still feel jealousy. I have a devotee who never meditated before, but has since taken up meditation. He said he's very fond of sports car. He has no patience to wait and to drive a sport car. It must be a sports car. So one day, he was able to buy antibody. He bought a sports car. He was so happy. He was so happy. But then, the first time he drove his sports car out, he had to stop at the traffic. What happens? He saw another sports car stopping just beside him. He felt so angry. You see, even if you have a sports car, if you cannot enjoy the other person, other people enjoying the sports car, you spoil your own happiness. That is why mudita, in the meditation mudita, or in the word that we say every day, is very important. When I was a PhD student here at the university, Oxford University, one day I went to King's College in Cambridge to teach one-day meditation course. And many students asked me, how do you cope with stress and pressure of high demands of Oxford and Cambridge? They asked me. I said, usually I notice when you see someone graduating as a PhD student, you work on this chapter, you send it to your supervisor, it comes back with a lot of remarks and comments, you work hard, you try your best, you send it again, the same still returns and you can't work with a new chapter, you have to repeat again and again the same chapter. It hits you. You become depressed. In that situation, you can lose. You can lose the happiness of being at Oxford. You can lose the happiness of being in Cambridge. In the same way, you can lose the happiness of being in job when many people are or have lost their jobs. You can lose that sense. Why? Because when you look at your friends graduating, you can feel depressed. Oh, they have done it. I haven't done it. And even if you say congratulations, you almost say it just half-hearted because you haven't done it. You don't feel quite confident to say congratulations. So I said, I focus on the suffering of being a PhD student, the suffering of being under pressure, having to meet the demand, the timetable, the deadline, having to rise up to the required standard, all those pressures that we have brought upon ourselves. We have to. So it's suffering. But when I look at that, I have that suffering. I see all the PhD students have that suffering. So when one of my friends, graduated, I feel very relieved from him. his graduation also encourages me that I could do. I entered Oxford in 2000 with a few people, some from Hong Kong, some from China, some from America, and one from Israel. The Israeli girl was very bright. I haven't finished half of my thesis. She already graduated, and now she got a job at Stanford University. Okay. I went there to give a paper before I finished my doctorate. She was already holding a job and teaching there. You see? If you can relate to suffering, dukkha, then you can relate to joy. If you can relate to her suffering, you can also relate to her joy. Without having a PhD myself at that time, I was able to a certain extent enjoy the joy of having a PhD. Not that I have, but that other people have. So this is important. This culture is very important. Otherwise, at work, people are jealous of each other. In society, people are jealous of each other. People behave destructively towards each other. So psychologically, what the Kathina is trying to give us is that to feel joyous, you have enough condition to feel happy and joyous. But unless and until you can relate to the pain that you have, the pain that your neighbors have, the pain that other people have, you're not going to be able to feel joyous for yourself and for other people. And this is the message that the Buddha has. And this message is associated with Kathina. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Venerable Sir. ค่ะกราบขอบคุณพระคุณเจ้าที่เมตตา